Welcome back to Snetterton for the final round of the 2012 Lotus Cup UK, and what a race we've got to bring the season to an end, with Martin Donnelly leading the way in the silver and blue Lotus Aurora, just ahead of Rob Fenn in the Go Green Exige, and the pair of them have been conjoined ever since the red lights flashed out and this race got underway. They've had safety cars thrown at them, they've had very tricky track conditions, and now they have got the light just beginning to fade as well, which is going to make things increasingly difficult for them as they pick their way past Steve Porter and work around the bomb hole. We are approaching the mandatory pit stops that come midway through all the races in the Lotus Cup UK, and that again has got the potential to turn everything onto its head. In third place we've got the 340R in the hands of Michael Lyons, who's sharing with David Harvey this weekend. This trio really moved clear. The rest of the pack was into the pit lane. Making his stop early is Rob Fenn, so Fenn blinks first. He peels into the pits. First of the leaders to come in anyway, because already we've got Adrian Hall there with a little bit of remedial work being done to the nose cone. His Exige as he have that fired back up and rejoin the action. So in is Ken Savage, as is Glenn Sherwood, to hand over to Jamie Stanley. There's Glenn just walking back into the garage. Jamie Stanley, you can see him poised there with his helmet on. The hands device, he's also just holding the fire extinguisher as precaution whilst the refuelling is completed. That has been done. The car prepared for Jamie Stanley to jump into it, sporting the Just Married stickers this weekend in honour of Glenn Sherwood's recent celebration. So congratulations to Glenn. And will he get the perfect wedding present in terms of a class victory and maybe a race overall podium? Well, let's see. Jamie Stanley is going to do everything that he possibly can, as Steve Train is in as well, but again he has taken a little bit of a bite out of the bodywork on his 211. And as the seconds tick down on the pit stop, work continues on the car. Steve gets the signal and hops back in as the drizzle seems to fall once more. It's been persistently drizzling all day here at Snetterton. Andrew Wright, the next driver, in to get some work done. And here comes Martin Donnelly to hand over to Adrian Lester. Donnelly, well, what a stint he has driven. There's Pete Ketfield there, who is about to be waved back out. Also rejoining when he finds a gear will be David Harvey, after the excellent work done by Michael Lyons during the first half of the race. The scene is perfectly set then, with Rob Fenn in pursuit of Adrian Lester, Steve Train. Meanwhile, on the tail of Mark Goodate, and Train needs every place he can possibly gain here to stand a chance at claiming the title. He also needs to finish ahead of Tom Chataway and Simon Deacon at the moment. Well, we lost Deacon earlier on in the race. We saw him ducking into the pits. Unfortunately, that was for retirement. At the moment, Train is clear of Tom Chataway. With dropped scores coming into the equation as well, this isn't going to be decided until the last driver has crossed the finish line. Mark Goodate moves across the bows of Steve Train, and Train is going to have to pick his moment here to move ahead of Mark Goodate, who was a little bit slow coming out of Nelson, and that is Steve Train's opportunity. Through he slides to the bomb hole, to the place gained for Steve Train as he looks to drive on to claim the title, but Goodate fights back into Coram Curve. The pair of them side by side, and just getting his nose ahead then is Steve Train. And Train has really developed as a driver, racing in the Lotus Cup UK this season. He's adapted very quickly to Lotus 211 and has been a consistent top 10 finisher all year long. His next target is BJ Chong. You can see BJ turning into riches now, but he's still not really shaken off the attentions of Mark Goodate, who is going to be pressurising him, I'm sure, all the way through to the checkered flag. Accelerating then out of riches on towards the Montreal hairpin. We've got the yellow flag, and that's why Ken Savage, having to test the rallycross abilities of a Lotus Elise as he rejoins the track. This weekend has been ample evidence of why we have such big runoff areas. We've seen quite a few drivers sliding wide in all the races. We've also got Liz Halliday pulled off there on the way into Brundle, so that's a very disappointing end to the season for Liz, as Jamie Stanley is getting his head down here and really charging. He's on the tail of Adrian Hall, and he is going to be hopeful of picking his way past Hall fairly quickly. Adrian makes a half-hearted defence into the bomb hole, but it's enough to delay Stanley momentarily. But Stanley may fancy his chances challenge into Coram Curve, and he dives to the inside, but again Adrian Hall covers the line just in time, and Stanley therefore attempts to look around the outside line. And will he get the car to the inside on the brakes into Murray's? He does. That's an absolutely superb move from Jamie Stanley, and I cannot emphasise enough how difficult that is to do in these conditions on a damp track, to find that sort of traction around the outside corner and then get the car stopped sufficiently in time for Murray's really excellent driving from Stanley. But unfortunately, he only gets to bask in the glory for the length of the centre straight, because around the outside at Riches goes Adrian Hall, reclaims the position as Steve Train has latched himself now onto the tail of BJ Chong in the number 8 car. He's also got the recovering Ken Savage up onto his tail, and Steve Train dives to the inside of BJ Chong. Through he goes. So another place gained for Steve Train, and that puts him up into 5th position. In fact, that could well be enough to give him the title. Unfortunately though, the next few cars up the road are a long way ahead of him, and so Steve Train really just needs to about pulling away from Chong and consolidating that place. Meanwhile, Jamie Stanley has moved up ahead of Adrian Hall, and that's into 2nd position for Jamie Stanley. So a superb move and really good start to his stint for Stanley in ever worsening conditions. You see the rain is now really beginning to pour down here. Snetterton, the spray being kicked up once more from the drivers, and Jamie Stanley going superbly as Rob Fenn picks his way past Adrian Lester. This not a pass for lead. Lester unfortunately has had some problems in the Evora, so he goes a lap down to Rob Fenn, who leads the way and is in complete command of it, as he was at Donington Park last time out. And for Rob, you just wonder if that car had run a little bit more reliably earlier on in the season, whether he'd have been looking, well, not quite at a clean sweep for the year, but certainly a dominant run to the championship. Still though, the fight for 2nd and 3rd continues into the latter stage of this race. Adrian Hall, well, the car certainly sporting the war wounds of a very busy afternoon's racing, and Jamie Stanley just beginning to move clear of him now as Mark Gooday looks to pick his way to the inside of BJ Chong. And is he going to get through? Oh, not quite. BJ keeps his footing around the outside line at Coram Curve, and nothing doing there for Mark Gooday, but he may be able to dive to the inside line into Motul. Looking at the braking lights, it seems as if Gooday may have been able to make that move, but Chong holds the racing line and swoops around the outside and holds on to 6th position. Still, Gooday is not letting this one lie. He looks to the outside line at Palmer, and he goes through later on the brakes, and that's a really nice move there from Mark Gooday, and one you don't see too often here at Snetterton. There's increasingly the spray just being moved up by the tyres of these cars. So as the dusk begins to fall and the rain, well, ever worsening, the conditions very, very tricky for these drivers, as David Harvey in the 340R has got Doug Setters all over his tail. And Doug and Chris Setters have had a very solid season. They're running just outside the top 10 at the moment into Coram Curve. There you go, David Harvey. That car has been put in a good position by Michael Lyons earlier on, but unfortunately David's had a few dramas as well, so he is slipping down the order just a little bit. Still, such a unique car, that 340R. Very distinctive in appearance and very potent in performance. Rob Fenn heading towards the late stage of the race. He's just got a few corners to go between now and the checkered flag, and Rob Fenn has been in complete command of this one, really ever since the pit stop phase. He stayed in touch with Martin Donnelly earlier on, who knew that he'd be quicker than Adrian Lester later in the race, and Fenn heads into Coram Curve, but still we've got David Harvey about to go a lap now down to Jamie Stanley. Stanley in 2nd. Another stunning drive from him. He went brilliantly at Donington at the start of October. He completes October with another feisty performance in the GT truck tyre Exige here at Snetterton. And Glenn Sherwood as well, always developing as a driver under his pupillage, as taking the checkered flag and the final win the 2012 Lotus Cup UK season is Rob Fenn. And Rob will be very pleased with his afternoon's work. I'm sure his eyes will be on stalks as well after negotiating the conditions. Let's take a look then at the final results. And in the Super Sports class, it's the win for Rob Fenn, 2nd place for Glenn Sherwood and Jamie Stanley. Adrian Hall completes the podium from Steve Train and Mark Gooday. Unfortunately, a couple of casualties along the way. And in the production class, well, it's Rob Boston, who's a rare runner-up, this time to Andrew Bentley, who wins the class, with Stuart Plotneck completing the podium. Again, only a couple of casualties. What a season of racing we have had, and it is Steve Train who has done enough to win the Supersports Championship as he basked in the applause, and the Production Championship goes the way of Rob Boston, two very worthy champions.
Rob, first place in Lotus Cup UK today, first place in your class. How are you feeling?
Yeah, really good. It was a great way to end the season. And got a brace of pole, fastest lap in the win, so I couldn't be happier. Just a shame we didn't get more reliability earlier in the season, then we would have been in for overall contention.
And next month you're in for the 6-hour race. You feeling hopeful?
That's right, yeah, we've got a good driver lineup, and the car's been brilliant the last couple of races, so fingers crossed it'll be a nice easy one, you never know.
Steve, congratulations, first place overall. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it was a very interesting race. It was I got fired off and sort of come back on the grid as last. I didn't think I stood a chance really, but obviously as time goes on and sort of fortunes went my way a little bit, I got my head down, done some quick lap times and come in with the win. So happy, yeah, really good, brilliant.
Great, and will we be seeing you next year?
I think so. I mean, I've spoke about testing on the radicals and things, but I'm quite enjoying the banter I got with some of the others in the pit lane. So it's probably will do. Yeah.
Let's have a look then at the final championship results, with Steve Train taking the title by the narrowest of margins from Glenn Sherwood, Tom Chataway and Rob Fenn, very, very tight at the top. And in the production class, with a little bit more of a dominant victory for Rob Boston from Stuart Plotneck and Ken Savage, completing the championship top three. Well, that's it for the Lotus Cup UK, but join us next time with action from the Lotus Brands Hatch 6 Hours.